Hello, and thank you for watching this video overview of the Open Source Medical Supplies Safer Voting During COVID-19 Guide. The following guidance was prepared by reviewing the latest COVID-19 transmission research and public health guidance from the CDC and other medical sources. Working at a polling center during the COVID-19 pandemic requires extra precautions. Following these guidelines will ensure a safer voting experience for everyone. First, it's important to understand how COVID-19 spreads. The virus that causes COVID-19 is spread through respiratory droplets and aerosolized particles that are spread when an infected person talks, coughs, or sneezes. People can then become infected with the virus if they inhale these droplets or particles, or if they touch a contaminated surface and then touch their face, eyes, or mouth. It's very important that if you have symptoms, you stay home. Symptoms of COVID-19 include frequent cough, difficulty breathing, fever or chills, sore throat, muscle pain, headache, or a recent loss of taste or smell. Again, do not come to your shift if you have symptoms of COVID-19. Notify your election admin immediately so that someone else can be scheduled to take your shift. Next, we're going to look at some strategies that you can implement to ensure a safer in-person voting experience for everyone. Crowd management will be a considerable challenge for polling places that expect to experience large surges of voters. It is extremely important that a minimum distance of 6 feet be maintained between all people at all times, even though this may create long lines. Lines of people should be directed to move in one direction only, with separate doors for entry and exit. Place markings on the floor with tape, chalk, or decals at 6-foot increments measured out with a tape measure along lines to remind voters to stand 6 feet apart from each other. Plexiglass barriers or transparent partitions can also be used at voter registration tables as an additional safety measure. Workers should discourage voters and other workers from greeting each other with physical contact, things like handshakes or hugs, and also include this reminder on signs if the jurisdiction permits it. Poll workers should place the I voted stickers, if available, on a surface where the voter can pick it up individually without touching other stickers, like the edges of a table or a counter placed near the exit. Proper cleaning and disinfecting protocols are an important part of reducing the risk of exposure to COVID-19. Surfaces that are frequently touched by multiple people, for example, door handles, registration tables, pens and clipboards, voting machines and voting stations, should be disinfected frequently using products with EPA-approved disinfectants. Look for products containing 70% alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, or bleach. These often come in the form of sprays or wipes. You want to follow the manufacturer instructions for all cleaning and disinfecting products. This includes concentration, application method, and whether or not the use of personal protective equipment is required. If the surface is dirty, it should be cleaned first. This means you'll need to remove visible dirt and grease before disinfecting. Public restrooms should be cleaned and disinfected routinely, and after the polling location closes, thoroughly clean and disinfect all facility areas and items, including all tables, chairs, door handles, restrooms, anything used by poll workers and voters. Another important strategy in reducing the risk of spreading COVID-19 is to minimize the handling of shared objects and replace shared objects like pens or ballot activation cards with single-use objects. If these objects must be shared, they should be disinfected between users. Other shared objects like voting machines, laptops, tablets, and keyboards should be disinfected thoroughly and routinely. Hand sanitizer should be placed near shared objects for public and worker use after touching these objects. Follow the equipment manufacturer's instruction for cleaning and disinfection procedures for voting machines and other electronics. Items to be reviewed, such as poll books or identification, should be placed on a table for visual examination to minimize handling. Headphones for voters with disabilities should be single-use or disinfected between users. After the election has ended, all equipment and transport cases should be cleaned and disinfected according to the manufacturer's instructions before the equipment is returned to the election office. Planning ahead for scenarios can help you act accordingly should an issue arise. For example, a voter may enter the polling location without a face mask. Some may have forgotten their mask, and some may be unwilling to wear a mask. Poll workers should be provided with simple messages to address this situation. Would you like a mask? If extra masks are available for voters, and if not, we respect your right to vote, and you'll be checked in and allowed to vote. We'll need you to maintain a physical distance of 6 feet from others. Please give us a bit of time to organize the voting area to allow additional physical distance between you, our election workers, and other voters. The following steps must then be taken to appropriately handle this scenario and prepare for possible outcomes. Poll workers should notify other poll workers that a voter without a mask will be checking in. It is recommended that another poll worker is also present when communicating with the voter without a mask. Poll workers should send the voter to a check-in station that has the most distance between it and other stations. If that station is not available, the poll worker should ask the voter to stand to the side until it becomes available. After checking in, the voter can be sent to a voting booth at an appropriate distance from other booths. Poll workers must be aware that other voters may try to escalate the situation. The poll worker should address the situation by reassuring other voters that their health and safety are important and remind everyone to maintain 6 feet of distance. Be prepared for tempers to flare. Elections officials should provide procedures for seeking additional support if necessary. Poll workers should have phone numbers for the next level of authority, building security, or law enforcement, and be ready to call them quickly if the situation escalates. Open Source Medical Supplies has a Quick Tips for Voters document available to download or print online. If your jurisdiction allows it, these can be printed as a page that can be displayed throughout the polling center or printed in a smaller format for the voter to receive a copy of at the registration table. Now let's review the contents of your PPE kit. You will have received an N95 respirator and also a face shield. The face shield arrives in 2 pieces and must be assembled prior to being worn. To assemble your face shield, fold the shield, grasp the top part of the shield. You'll notice that there are 4 slots along this top piece. These slots align with 4 tabs. Push the tabs through the slot and then fold to secure. Once you have secured all 4 tabs, you'll need to add the head strap. Take the center of the strap and place it inside the face shield. You'll notice there are these arrow tabs that line up with these 2 slots on the side. Push the arrows through the slots The face shield is now ready to be worn by the user. Because they can be tricky or difficult to assemble, it's best to have one person or 2 people spaced out at a table assembling all the face shields to be worn by the other workers. If assembling face shields for others, please sanitize your hands first and wear gloves if they're available. They can then be placed on a table for other workers to pick up individually. Now you're ready to wear your PPE. First, it is important to clean your hands, either with soap and water or by using hand sanitizer that is at least 60% alcohol. Ensure that you cover your palms in between the fingers and the backs of both hands. Allow it to dry so that you don't damage the plastic on your shield. First, we'll start with the N95. The light orange side is the side that will be on the top. The side with the print on it will be underneath. There are 2 elastic head straps. You are going to take the respirator and fold it into this duckbill shape by gently shaping the corners inward. Once you have it in this duckbill shape, Then you can position it over your face. Pull the elastic straps back, line it up with your face, and pull the elastic over your head. Place the top elastic band at the crown of the head and the bottom elastic band around the nape of your neck. Once you have it securely in place, press on the metal nose strip to form to your face. If you need additional guidance, please refer to the booklet that was distributed with your masks. If you have long hair, you may want to pull it back for this, and if you wear glasses, remove your glasses before you put on your mask. You may then put your glasses on after you've secured your mask. Ensure that the strips are fit against the skin so that air does not come up and fog up your glasses. Now that you've fitted your respirator, it's time to put on your face shield. Grasp the face shield with one hand on the shield and one hand on the head straps. Pull them over your face until this strap lines up with your forehead. Then take your hand and grasp the other strap. There are a series of teeth designed to interlock. Pull the straps behind your head and overlap them. Lock the teeth together for a secure fit. You don't want it too tight as you will be wearing this for quite some time. Now that you've put on your N95 respirator and face shield, it's time to sanitize your hands once more, either with soap and water or with your alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Again, covering all surfaces of the hand and between the fingers. Allow your hands to dry before touching paper ballots or electronics. Thank you again. Your service is important and greatly appreciated. Thank you for protecting yourself and others while also protecting democracy for all Americans.